Oh, why, hello there again. Um, it's been, I don't know how long since the last time I've made another video, but I am back with another video because it's been forever, and you're probably wondering, is he dead? No, I am not dead, and I just did a report video yesterday, I think. Anyway, so today I am going to be reacting to this video by Clint's Reptiles, a really amazing channel, by the way. You should go subscribe if you're suggesting on getting an exotic pet, because I would totally recommend him. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be reacting to one of his videos of his Russian tortoise videos, because I myself have a Russian tortoise, Mars. Unfortunately, she can't join us with this reaction video today because she's outside, because I live in a desert, and I can do that. But anyway, yeah, fun fact, this guy lives in the same state that I live in. So, that's kind of cool, I guess. Yes, Russian tortoise, the best pet turtle. Let's begin, shall we? I also watch him, according to... Well, I just watch him for fun, because I'm a reptile fan. I probably should have watched this video when I got Mars, but whatever.
The first animal to travel to the moon were these Russian tortoises.
Yep, that's a fun fact.
The second bad news is that Russian tortoises don't come from Russia. They come from the Middle East and Central Asia.
Well, of course they don't. Russia's like cold most of the time.
If you walk into a pet store, you're likely to see two similarly sized, similarly colored tortoises for sale.
That is true. I did see that when I went into the pet store to go get her. However, both of them were Russian tortoises, and they were twins. So Mars has a twin sister, actually. And yes, reptiles and other all egg-laying animals can have twins and triplets similar to mammals. However, they can't have any more than 3. They can only have 3 things hatched from the same egg. It's rare, more rare than mammals, but...
And this one, usually the smaller of the two, the sulcata tortoise. I've heard people discuss which of these they would rather have, and usually it comes down to which one they think looks cooler and which one is cheaper.
Don't do that.
Now I should mention that in a few years,
no, don't do that.
Sulcata, which was cute and little, will look like this.
See?
And he still has a lot more growing to do. Sulcatas are the 3rd largest tortoises in the world. And the Russian, which was likely the larger of the two at the pet store, will still be a very reasonably sized little...
Mars isn't as big as that, because that is a male, and she's a girl. However, she is somewhat the size of that. She's about, like, maybe half the size of him right now. And yes, I can tell the gender, because based on the thickness of the tail, men usually have thicker tails than girls, but anyway...
When it comes to size, Russian tortoises are much more reasonably sized than are their African
Yes, they are
cousins.
fairly small.
That is, except for their giant...
And Mars is almost fully grown, too. And I don't know if you saw her in my Halloween video, but she's fairly small.
Space race, the not Russian tortoise, a good pet. And is it the best pet turtle for you? Yeah,
yes.
You heard me right. We have a whole video about it if you have a problem with it. Like this day wasn't bad enough already. But to figure out if the not Russian tortoise is the best pet turtle for you, we need to give it a score based on our 5 categories, which are handleability,
now,
hardiness, availability, and upfront costs.
Personally, I think tortoises are better because you don't have to worry about changing the tank with water.
Score of 5 out of 5. Handling a turtle simply doesn't get any easier. They aren't
because they have a shell, and they're not very flexible at all.
And if you should hold them correctly, they shouldn't scratch you either. People always tell me that my snapping turtle is going to bite off my fingers. Well, the nice thing about turtles is that they can't reach all of the parts of their own body.
Yep.
Not Russian tortoises can
very
reach
true.
less of their own
I've
bodies
witnessed
than
that with
snapping
Mars.
turtles by far. Even if you get the
it's so adorable, so cute.
Russian tortoise on the planet Earth, it still shouldn't ever bite you.
They're herbivores, and herbivores usually don't bite.
They also can't drop that cute little tail. Probably the only risk is that the tortoise could be injured if dropped. Fortunately, this tortoise will never be heavy or large enough to be unwieldy. Handling
because it
not
has a
Russian
shell.
tortoise is like handling a firm hamburger that kicks in the air a bit like you might if you suddenly learned how to fly. Honestly, really the only thing to watch out for when it comes to handling a not Russian tortoise is that occasionally they might pee or poop, and just try to avoid that. When it comes
Yes, that is very much true. That has happened to me several times back when I still had her and she wasn't used to me. Now, she doesn't do that as much because she's potty trained. You can actually potty train a tortoise, not as well as, say, a tegu, which is a smart lizard. Probably the smartest pet lizard you can get other than a monitor, but they're fairly intelligent. Anyway, yeah, that's very much true. She's done that.
give the not Russian tortoise a score of 4 out of 5. The care is not complex for not
They're
Russian
very
tortoises.
easy to take care
The biggest
of.
surprise is just that they need quite a bit of space. They're very much smaller than their cousins, the sulcata tortoises, so they don't need as much space, but tortoises are busy little creatures.
Yes,
They also
very
don't
much.
understand
She keeps me
transparent
awake at
barriers,
night sometimes.
So don't use them unless you love the sound bang, bang, bang all day long, as long as you're confused.
When I put her in her terrarium, her old terrarium, granted she doesn't live there anymore. She's in the pen over by my bed. I don't know if you saw that in my Halloween video, but yeah, that happened a lot.
Climb or jump very well, so you can build
They can't climb or jump.
a corral for them.
They can't jump at
Or
all.
something like that. You'll only need a top if it's to keep
They can
predators
climb
away from
a
your
little
tortoise.
bit,
Outdoors
but
is a great option if it doesn't get too hot or too cold. Indoors, at least part of the year, will probably be necessary for most people, though.
yep,
Indoors,
I usually keep her inside towards the fall and winter. Well, maybe the fall, definitely the winter. Like I said again, I live in a desert, so who knows. But the spring and the summer, like right now, it's supposed to be 101 today. That's totally fine for her.
plenty of basking opportunities with high levels of UVB. And offer them lots of mixed vegetables, mostly leafy greens, but not spinach, kale,
That's
or other greens that bind calcium. Be sure to add calcium and vitamin
That's a
regularly
good
to their
thing,
food.
that they
also like
can
to dig,
eat
especially
human
if
food.
outdoors,
So that's
as
pretty
this
good.
may be their only
pretty
refuge
nice.
to eat. Provide for this, give them a place to dig, and also make sure that they can't dig their way out of the enclosure. Make sure that water is always available, but that they can easily get out of the water bowl. They can swim, but they aren't great at it. And
Yeah, I have witnessed this. Whenever she swims, her head isn't above the surface, which is bad because she could drown. But typically, just do what he said.
drowning is a real concern.
Yep,
They can
it is.
survive a trip to the moon and back, but they can't spend much time in the water. I want to take a moment just to say thank you to our rat fans and stinking
Yeah, I can skip this.
honestly would have to please consider they should do really well. Thanks again. When it comes to hardiness, we give the not Russian tortoise a score of 5 out of 5. If you give them
Yep.
the basic requirements of tortoises, they should do really well. Tortoises are hardy, and these guys should live for many decades.
They really don't.
Most of the big
Oh, yeah. He's right about that. Mars is gonna live up to 50 years, and she's only 10 right now. So, I'm gonna have her pretty much my entire rest of my life. But, yeah, they are fairly basic animals. They really don't need much. All they need is space, heat, something to mimic the sun's radiation rays, something to dig in, and something to hide in, and that's about it. Well, also water too, and food, but
not Russian tortoises that you see are imports. It is probably best to not support this if at all possible. Get a captive bred baby.
now, I had the terrible mistake of doing this. I am so sad and guilty that I have done this. Mars is a... Wait, what was it?
For many decades. Most of the bigger not Russian tortoises that you see are imports. It is
Yes, she was an import, and now her and her twin both were imports, and I'm really sad that I supported that idea. However, do not do this. Do not support this idea, because it's cruel and mean to both you and the animal. Because I got her, and she was loaded with parasites. Like, loaded with them. She's doing way better and fine now, but it costed a lot of money for the vet trips. Probably the same for a twin too, wherever she is.
Probably best to not support this if at all possible.
Yes, please
Get a
don't.
captive bred baby like this one. Heck, if you want a tiny tortoise, why not get a really tiny tortoise? A really tiny, not Russian tortoise. Such a tortoise should realistically live many decades.
Yep.
It will cost a bit more, but it is better for the species, more likely to survive, and still only a few dollars a year if you think.
And I think
Availability, we give the not Russian tortoise.
now I think that wait. I hate when this happens. I get lost in thought. Never mind.
They score of 4 out of 5. Okay, I'm a little bit conflicted about what to tell you here. If you want an import, they're everywhere. They're in pet stores, expos, and online. Everywhere
there were like
reptiles, pretty much.
5
in
the pet store when I went to go get her.
Then it is almost certainly an import non-Russian tortoise. But how long is that sustainable? Captive bred non-Russian tortoises like these are much less common, but they are out there. You'll just need to find a breeder, probably online. But do it! They're healthier.
Now, what he said, if you do get an import, which I highly suggest you don't, get it from Animal Ark. They take good care of their reptiles, unlike PetSmart and Petco. Well, Petco kind of does, but PetSmart, no, absolutely not. Do not make the same mistake I did. But Animal Ark would probably be the best way to go. If you do get an import, which I'm saying, don't do that. That is bad.
Sustainable and oh so cute. Support
yes, that's very much true. They're so adorable!
Love for the species. It's hard to compete with imports. When it comes to upfront costs, we give the not Russian tortoise a score of 4 out of 5. A captive bred baby like these will cost you maybe 2 or 3 times more than an import, though deals can be found. Even if
Mars only costed, I think, like $40. And, well, don't put her in a terrarium like I did at first. Put her in a pen like she has now. But typically, the actual animal costs like $40. Everything else probably would cost a max of like $100. That's about it. Like, they're very cheap. The lighting, however, is probably going to be the most expensive part. Because you can easily build a pen made out of wood. Just high enough spot and low enough spot that they can't dig under and that they can't climb over. It could be made out of wood. Or cinder blocks. Like, yeah. Like I said again, the only expensive part would probably be the lighting, depending on where you live. If you live in a desert like me, you can just keep them outside for most of the time. But if you live in not a desert, yeah.
You end up paying that much, though. It isn't crazy expensive for a pet that will live for 40 years or more. The rest really won't be too bad.
Definitely.
You're going to need a big wooden box. But this is fairly easy to build, even if you're bad at building things.
It's just a square.
Substrate that will hold a burrow, a water bowl that can be escaped, a basking and UVB lights if it's indoors, a food bowl, some small hides, and bam! You're done! And this is why overall, we give the Russian tortoise a score of 4.4 out of 5. I'm gonna be honest. Tortoises are cute.
That is a really good score. In fact, I think that's the highest score he's given to a reptile at the moment.
When they eat, and they're fun. But they're not buckets of fun. And a
That's true.
tiny tortoise is pretty much as fun as a giant tortoise without all of the downsides of owning a self-driving bulldozer that doesn't understand clear barriers. So if you want a tortoise, you probably want a captive bred, not Russian tortoise. It's basically the Ackie of tortoises. And if you don't want a tortoise, thanks for watching anyway. As always, like and subscribe.
Yes, that is very much true. All in all, Russian tortoises are very good pets to have. That face, though.
And we hope to see you real soon.
Okay, that's better. Sorry, that face was bugging me. Yeah. What he said earlier, though, that's the only downside, is that they're very boring and they don't do much. But that is good if you're a very busy person. Not like me. But all in all, Russian tortoises are very good pets. I highly recommend them to anyone who wants a pet reptile. And they're herbivores, so you really don't need to buy food for them to eat, because they can even eat grass too, and grass can be found everywhere, even in your yard. So all in all, pretty good pets to have. Anyway, that's going to be it for this time. I don't know when the next time I'm going to upload again is, but anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all